Of course, now I have to invite...
Tottenham Hotspur is the latest English Premier League football club to step up its brand building efforts in Asia by signing a new deal with the Hong Kong-based insurer AIA. Rapid economic growth in China, a growing middle class and rising disposable incomes across Asia, plus a vast interest in the English game, make the region increasingly important for English clubs.
One of our priorities is to expand our growing fan base in Asia. Asia is estimated to have approximately 80 million Spurs fans, and it's one of the fastest growing regions in the world, and we wanted to team up with a company that was one of the fastest growing companies in this region.
Spurs is one of just many Premier League clubs trying to boost its presence in Asia. Chelsea already has an Asian brand as its sponsor, the South Korean company Samsung, and Manchester United increasingly has advertising in Mandarin across the perimeter of its Old Trafford pitch. And it's easy to see why so many European clubs are turning their attention towards the Asian market. According to some sources, the Premier League received around £941 million in TV money from Asia from this season up until 2016. That's a 77% increase in what it got from 2010 to 2013, and considerably more than the £607 million it gets in TV money from the European broadcasters.
AIA is a Hong Kong company, and the fact that they have closer connection and partnership means Spurs will come to Hong Kong a lot more often. So, which means as a fan, we do actually have a lot more exposure with players, with legends.
The English Premier League generated more revenues from shirt sponsorships this season than its big European rivals, and a large percentage of that income is coming from Asian sponsors. But sponsorship is no longer just about selling replica shirts. Today, it's about engaging with more customers in more markets around the world, with a view to making returns in the long term. But there are question marks over how this approach translates into hard cash in the short term.
I think historically a lot of sponsorships have been transactions. So in other words, the sponsor pays a fee and the club transfers legal rights to be associated with the club for 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. And that very often was the extent of it. What we're now moving towards is much more a form of strategic collaboration whereby both partners go into this looking for win-win situations. And I think that goes beyond more than just an exchange of legal rights and cash. And I think what both AIA and Tottenham would be looking to do is to build business on the back of one another through some form of collaborative agreement.
We may see much more engagement of the language. We may see a Spurs website in Mandarin. There's no hard and fast way that they're actually going to be creating really big money out of Asia, but at least they're making the start.
And it's not just about doing sponsorship deals. Clubs are increasingly taking the long view and communicating directly with fans in Asia, often in their own language, to cater exactly to their needs.
Forget about the instant hit of selling shirts, selling merchandise in these markets, or necessarily going on these pre-season tours, but actually to try and be doing that 12 months of the year, constantly working that market, sweating it. And they need to do that by being on the ground, but by doing more sophisticated things through social media, through Twitter, etc.
What Chinese football fans in particular look for is very often something quite different to what European fans are looking for. Not only do the clubs have to communicate in Chinese, but they also have to present different content to the sites that they have in Europe.
And the future could be in franchising.
My view is that we'll see more and more franchises being established across the world, particularly by European clubs. I suspect that we may well see a Manchester City franchise in Asia very soon.
The question is, in the same way that do you pour speculative money into merchandise deals or franchise deals, or do you buy playing talent? And what will happen is that clubs will lean more towards the short term because they have to keep up with what their rivals are doing.
For AIA, the rewards in this deal with Tottenham are clear. The Premier League's global brand gives it exposure on the world stage. And in return, Spurs will get the chance to increase its presence in the crucial Asian market. But while the battle to win Asian football fans has begun, it isn't yet clear exactly how clubs will monetize these growing supporter bases. Daniel Garahan, Financial Times.